Hi, I'm James with British Customs. Today we're going to install a competition header on the Speed Twin 1200. If you haven't seen the videos on how to remove the exhaust system, I would suggest going back and looking at that first. Get yourself to this point and then we can install the competition header. The thing you want to do before you put it on the bike is you want to verify that the crossover is slipping into the pipe. And you might find one side is much tighter than the other. I would suggest installing it on the tighter side first, and then being able to slide the other pipe that's loose fitting on while you're installing it on the bike. Another thing you want to make sure is if it is a tight fit, make sure that these are in line with each other, because you don't want to have to try and twist it once it's all on the bike. So I would suggest getting it there. You can tap it in with a rubber mallet or something a little bit more if you need to. And then the other side will be easier to slide on. So now we can go ahead and remove our O2 sensors from the stock pipe. Use your 17mm wrench. Just take it out. And take the other one out of the other pipe and you're ready to install them on the new pipe. You want to put some anti-seize on the threads. Don't get it on the sensor itself, you just want to get some in the threads there. Put that in. Your 17mm wrench. Tighten that up. Don't make it so tight that you break the sensor. Just make it tight enough that it doesn't leak. You can always make it a little tighter if it does, but you don't want to break your sensor. So now put a little anti-seize on the other one and install that on the other pipe. $17mm. Tighten that up. First thing we want to do is install our exhaust gaskets. And you'll notice if you put them in, they're just going to want to fall right out. So if you just put a little, two little dots of grease on there and put them in, that'll hold them in place. It's a loose fit, but it still seals. You don't want to try and reuse the stock gasket because it's already crushed and it's going to misalign everything. So definitely use the new gaskets. So now what we want to do is install our crossover into the tighter side of the pipe. Make sure these two are perfectly in line with each other. Give it a little tap with the rubber mallet. Make sure it's in there. Slide it through the frame there. And then we can come up and get the pipe in. So now we're going to install our flanges here. Make sure you got your slot lined up for your O2 sensor. I'm just going to loosely install the nuts for now. I'm going to go over to the other side. So again, we're going to put our exhaust gasket on, put a couple dots of grease, just enough to hold it in place until you get the pipe on. Make sure your kickstand's down, make it easier. Slide it in. And we can start that pipe in there. See, and that's where it comes in handy to make sure you got the loose side goes in second. Get our flanges, align your O2 sensor. Now we're going to put the spring on. Get in there. Okay. Same thing for the other side. Okay. So now you want to get the Allen bolt from the kit with the washer. Using a 6mm Allen key, put on some Loctite. And screw that on there. I'm just going to make that a little loose. We want to be able to move that. We're going to tighten up the head, tighten the pipe to the head, and then we'll tighten that back down. So now we're going to get the spacer from the kit. I'm going to put it in between the frame and the pipe. And get the stock bolt. Put it back in. Put the stock washer back on in the back, and put the stock nut back on. Using your 12mm wrench, 12mm socket. Snug it up, but don't make it tight until we tighten it up at the head, and then we'll come back and tighten it. So now, using our 12mm socket, tighten up the flange nuts. Don't tighten just one side down and then the other. You want to keep crossing them over and bring it down nice and even. Go to the other side and repeat. Again with our 12mm socket. Tighten it down. Now we can go and tighten the back bolts holding the pipe on. Using our 6mm Allen bit. Tighten that down. And we'll go tighten the other side. And now, again with our 12mm wrench, 12mm socket, we can tighten this down. And when you get your stop, this is the way it should look, with this bend going away from the bumper there, so that it sticks off of the frame. You can see it would go in any position. If it's the other way, it's coming up underneath the frame. So if you get it like this, where the bend is coming onto the same side as the bumper, we're aware of some of them may have gone out assembled wrong. You just need to put a little silicone spray on that, pull that out, and flip it around so that it looks like this. So now, using our 8mm Allen hex bit, you pull off the rear screw. I'm going to get the longer bolt from the kit. I'm going to slide it through our kickstand bumper and then put the spacer on top of that. Get the bolt started. Again, using our 8mm Allen hex bit. You want to install it. Get it snug. Make sure your kickstand is hitting it. should. And then we're going to torque that bolt down to 40 Newton meters. Just double check your kickstand again after you've tightened it. So now we want to get our O2 sensors plugged back in. We're going to slide up through here. You want to make sure you pop this piece back into the frame. Once we get it up in there. A little tricky, you got to find the spot where it goes. Okay. Through here. In. Slide it back on. This one back in place. Like that. We can screw this back down. So now we're going to put these screws back in. From the factory, it had red Loctite on. Seems real extreme, just to hold these little plastic pieces on. So it's going to put a little blue Loctite on. This is a T30. Torx. Okay. I'll put this piece back in here. Just like that. And now this piece. On that. Just make sure that piece is in there and your brake line is in the slot there. Again, just a little blue Loctite. Helps to just get that screw started and then do the next one. This again is a T30 Torx head. Now, again, I'll just double check, make sure these are in where they're supposed to be. Tighten it down. Okay, now we'll do the other side. Now this one, I'm going to bring it up. It could be a little tricky because you got the hard brake line running through here. Kind of gets in your way. Plug it in. Let's get this piece popped back into the frame here. Which is It's really tight with that brake line there. Maybe would help a little screwdriver. Close that thing. Okay. There we go. That's in. Now I just want to slide this down. Okay. Want all our wires to be encased in there. Put a little blue Loctite on the screw. Get it started. Grab the other one. These are again T30, just like the other side. So now just got to lift this up a little bit, slide the bolt through. Put the nut on. Hold the nut with a 10mm wrench. Here's your 10mm, your 8mm socket on the other side. And tighten it up. So now we want to bring this wire back up through here and weave it into this channel right here. So first I want to bring it up to where I can get it, plug it in. That. So now we got it all in the channel there. We can pull up a little bit. Get that plug back in there. Now we can put this cover back on. Reconnect the battery. $10mm wrench, tighten it up. Just remember, if you disconnected the whole battery, you want to do your positive first and then your negative last when you're putting it back on. Okay, I'm going to put the seat back on. So that's it for the competition header install. All that's left to do is put on a set of slip-ons. So pick out whichever ones you want and go check out our video on how to install those. Thanks for watching.